that maybe they aren't challenging for mythical national championships yet, but you could see it happening in the next few years.
Yeah, let me think about that. Out of Southern California, I think Calabasas is onto something down there. They're not a name that a lot of people know around the country. Depending on how they schedule and make a name for themselves next year, they could be on the right track with a lot of their young or really a talented junior class, and I believe plenty of stud sophomores too. But I'm really intrigued in California next year because a lot of the big boys lose so much impactful players from this season that could be a team from the South that emerges, the Southern California, that is. Outside of California, it's hard to say. I believe it's Desert Ridge or Desert Vista in Arizona. They upset Chandler, who's burst on the national scene the last few years. They knocked Chandler out in the semifinals, and that's a team that returns a lot of players next season. So maybe if they challenge for a state championship next year, that could springroll into something in Arizona. Texas, Florida, some of those big states. I'm not too familiar with any of the sleeper teams. Or teams that aren't on the national scene that could be getting to that point. But I guess it would have to depend on coaching too, what Coach Probst for Colquitt County, man. He seems like just a home run hitter wherever he goes. They turn to gold. So, I would maybe keep an eye on the coaching carousel and see what big names, if any, shake up or move around. And by evidence of what he's done, it starts with the coaching and leadership, and following his model could be that key to those teams that aren't on that level get to that level.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I throw in Valor Christian.
All the McCaffreys. So many McCaffreys.
Yeah, I mean, they just won a state title. Dylan is I pay to watch him. I don't say that about many high school kids. He's that good. I mean, he's my number 2 quarterback in the class behind Tate Bartel. I mean, this kid just he's like his brother at quarterback. He runs so well. He throws so well. Throws on the run, throws in the pocket. He can do everything for you pretty much. I mean, he's got a couple problems, like every kid does. But, I mean, he's 6'4", already. Like I said, I saw him in Atlanta at the College Football Hall of Fame. He's the tallest. Oh, he's about the same height as his dad, I guess. Pretty close. He's only 16 years old. He's just everything, man. I mean, he did a lot for that. His stats are ridiculous in the playoffs. They were better than his team, 8 games in the regular season, So Valor, he's coming back. He brings back all his offensive linemen and 2 tight ends, and the running back as well. So that's going to be a team to watch out for, I believe. And Trinity Christian Academy from Jacksonville, too, I would say. Bill, I think, I have them finishing 12th. They're pretty much in everybody's top 25, top 30 range, and that's a team that I thought was 1 year away from winning that state title, and they already won it. So, I mean, they're going to be really loaded next year. Like I said, Westlake, too, from Texas is going to be a team to watch for when it's Calabasas, too, man. Calabasas, love with it. That team's really young. There's a lot of sophomores on that team this year. So, I mean, I don't know about them winning a national title or anything, but then they can go deep into the playoffs next year in the state of California.
Yeah, it'll really depend on how they schedule. If they try to schedule out of state or even some Pac-5 teams, that'll be a great measuring stick to see where they stand, because they're a lower division team, and traditionally in California, it's really the Division I teams that lead the national charge. Not too many teams that are, D2 or less are ever really competing at the top of the state rankings or any type of national ranking. Calabasas would buck that trend next year if they can climb any polls.
Well, yeah, I'll tell you this. I think Valor is supposed to play Vista Marietta, if my friend on the staff is not mistaken, which I'm sure he's not. And I think they're supposed to play each other next year. So
wow, that would be a fun one.
Yeah, one thing I will say, I don't think this will happen, I think McCaffrey families all kind of graduated from that high school and they kind of want to keep the tradition. But IMG is going to need a quarterback. So I mean, there's some people saying Dylan McCaffrey could possibly go to IMG Academy, but I'm not sure about that. Who knows? It's just last year Malik Henry was supposed to be the quarterback. Shea Patterson was the quarterback, so we have no idea. Sam Dagels is a pretty good quarterback. That's the backup of Shea Patterson, but I just have a strong feeling he's not going to be that guy next year. He's a 3-star quarterback, and he's never even played a game of football, but he's never started a game, rather. But I just think they'll get another quarterback, probably from Florida, from the South, who knows. But we'll see what happens. I mean, just something to keep, I guess, some eyes on. Because, I mean, if they can get IMG is always kind of the team that we don't know about. They get a lot of transfers. So seeing what they get, is going to be big. Because a lot of people thought Calvary Academy out of Louisiana would be a state title contender with Shea, and he left. They weren't very good without him. So, yeah. We'll see, I guess, what happens with the transfers and everything, too. Jim, did you have any questions for Ryan before I let him go?
No, that's about it. You guys kind of covered most of the stuff, at least I was interested. So.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Ryan, we had an extended version of you on the show, I guess, tonight a little bit. I appreciate you coming on, man. Yeah, I mean, like I said, we're not done with Ryan Swartz yet, man. I know we do the top 25, top 4 every week, and we both agreed. We agreed on a lot, actually, this year.
Yeah.
So we ended up agreeing at the end of the day on Bishop Gorman. I think our Gatorade State Player of the Year or whatever, or not State Player of the Year, National Player of the Year was a little different. I had Jacob Eason, and I can't remember exactly who you had, but I mean Eason was in there, so close enough. I won't hold you to that one.
Yeah. Thank you.
And I mean, you had all the state champions. I think you picked all of them right. You had De La Salle. You beat me, man. I thought Corona Centennial was going to do it. I still love Matt Logan in that program, though.
Yeah, great coach.
Yeah, well deserving of it.
I whipped on the Del Oro Camarillo game, but I think everybody did. I get a pass.
We
for
all
that
whipped
one.
on that. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about that one. I thought there was no chance in hell, really, that Camarillo would lose that game, but they lost. So it happens, man. It gets to the best of the kids. So, man, tell the people they can find and follow your work, so before I let you go. Yeah,
you can follow me on Twitter, Swartz27, my last name, and I'm contributing to nationalhighschoolfootball.com, covering the West region. Have some interesting off-season topics I'll be writing about, so look forward to that, and really look forward to some of these games for 2016 getting announced. That's really what holds me over until the next high school football season. So looking forward to it. And thanks a lot, Donovan. It's been a fun season. It's been great talking to you guys, Bill and Jim. Look forward to being on next season, or maybe if anything comes up in between. Love to talk to you guys.
Excellent.
Oh, yeah, man. We'll have you on. I mean, you're out in Vegas. There's always something going on. Tate's always tweeting something or whatever. I don't know. So, I'm sure we'll have you on at some point. In a dead period right now, of course, is what we call in recruiting. So we'll have you on. Have a great night, man.
Right on. You too. Keep up the good work, guys.
Thanks. I appreciate it. That was Ryan Swartz of Vibe.com. Great to have him on the show. Go through our top 4, man. Top 25, too. There's a lot of good teams in college football this year. I think this is the most I've paid attention to every state, not just one or two, or the West Coast or the South or whatever. All the states. I gave them all love. I named my top 50 or top team in every state, all 50 states today on rscnreport.com. I did my top 25 today as well. We all came. I think we had 8 votes. 7 went to Bishop Gorman. 1 went to Katy. So I think we did a good job, man. Gosh, I mean, Bill, let me ask you for a second.
Hello, Donovan? Uh-oh. Donovan?
Bill, you there?
Oh, hey. Yeah, I couldn't hear you.
Okay, I'm making sure you can hear me now. Making sure everything's good.
Okay, so what was the question?
The question we talked about we talked about kind of back in the day when you watched football and played football, the teams that have changed now. Bishop Gorman's a team that wasn't prevalent back in the day. I mean, how do you feel about them kind of taking over a little bit?
It's cool and everything, but the thing that is sort of weird, or, I mean, not that kids didn't sometimes change schools even then, but, I mean, essentially you've got almost like free agency, and you've got IMG nationally recruiting like colleges recruit. It's just, that just feels weird. That just feels wrong, basically. I mean, we were playing high school football. You played against kids that you knew and were from close to you, and you had faced them in Little League Baseball, or you played with them in Little League Baseball, or went to church with them. The idea that these kids are coming from Maine to California, you know, to go to the school in other parts of the country, it's just, I mean, I don't know. That part rubs me a little bit wrong because it distorts the idea of high school football. It's a perversion of what high school football really is supposed to be. I mean, college football is supposed to be that perversion of high school football, not high school football, to be a perverted version of high school football with national recruiting and kids not just, you know, going across town or staying with grandma so they can play at a slightly better school, but pulling up stakes and sometimes even their whole families moving across country. That's just nuts.
It is nuts. It's not as common as people think. I mean, it doesn't happen that much. It's just the top players, so I guess it gets talked about more. But it is starting to be more prevalent. I will say that. It's not overblown at all.
Wait, hold on. Wasn't Cordell Broadus going to Bishop Gorman?
Yes. Oh, last year, yeah. Last year.
Right. I mean, right. But isn't his family in Los Angeles? I mean, how does that work?
He, well, the great thing about having Snoop Dogg as a dad is that he has a house in Las Vegas because he was DJing out there. He was DJing at the Luxor for a year, so kind of worked out perfectly for him to go to Bishop Gorman. Plus, he's really good friends with Tyjon Lindsey and Tate Martell. A lot of these kids are friends on the circuit of 7-on-7 now.
That's the other thing that's completely different, right? Yeah. Basketball kids used to have that, but football kids didn't have that whole the circuit.
Yeah, they have a circuit now. I mean, there's 7-on-7 teams put together on Twitter. I've seen it before. I mean, they literally will put, the team with I can't think of their exact team name, but it was the team with Josh Rosen at quarterback, and they had Cordell Broadus, had a wide receiver and a bunch of other guys. Kind of just, from all over the West Coast, maybe not the country, but at least the West Coast, kind of put together. Some of them just meet through, rivals or under whatever camp, and, or they meet online, or they might have a mutual friend or whatever. They play basketball with AAU. Basketball even helps with baseball just because a lot of these kids still play two sports. So everything's changed, as far as that goes. And like I said at the top, Katy is a team that's been good for a while. Obviously since pretty much Andy Dalton was a freshman, they've been really, really, really talented. Bishop Gorman's a newer team that's been dominating, the past 7 years in the state of Nevada, but now in the national
and of course,
rate.
Roger Clemens played football there as well.
Oh, say that one more time, Bill.
Roger Clemens played football there as well. Katy.
Yeah, Roger Clemens did play. Yeah, they have a strong tradition. So, I mean, Colquitt County is a new tradition. They've always been kind of good in Georgia, but Rush Probst just made that program everything. He's only been there that long. I mean, I think he's the best coach. He's going to be in college football in the next 4 years. He's not going to be at Colquitt long. I mean, he might. We'll see, but I think he's gone. I mean, Jeremy Pruitt was his assistant coach, and he's already a head coach, or pretty close to a head coach in college football. So I'm pretty sure Rush Probst can do a pretty good job there. If his assistant, Jeremy Pruitt's doing a good job climbing up the ladder as well. De La Salle is obviously a team that's going to be good forever. I don't think they'll ever fall off. I mean, I don't see it happening, especially in Northern California because there's just a lot of less talent, and all the talent goes to one school, so it helps them out a lot. I mean, obviously, IMG Academy is a super new school. St. Edward's has been around for a long time. Corona Centennial's old school team, but newly good at football, this good. So St. Thomas Aquinas, same way. I mean, there's a lot